Hi Ellie, this is Fancy, and I'm looking at your design and comparing it to what you said in your post. And you say that you began with points of emphasis, but because you aren't moving across pathways, but rather moving within, that you think that it's no longer a point of emphasis. Um, I wouldn't agree with that. You don't necessarily have to move um, or gradate across pathways to work with points of emphasis. You can gradate away from itself in more of a random pattern. Um, and that's kind of what I see in this area here. Um, it's almost like you start out lighter. I think in one of the videos, Linda suggests not using kind of a spiral movement within the pathway around the point of emphasis. But it can still be kind of more random. So, for example, some of these values could kind of um, move into this line or this concentric square, and then so on and so forth. So you could have it would just be more of a random gradation and not across pathways, not even really within pathways either, just more random. um, so as I mentioned in the post, you're moving around the corner too much here in this leg of your primary secondaries, so from yellow to orange to magenta is going around a corner, and also you don't have enough of the purple sandwiched between the two primaries of cyan and magenta, so you need to get more of the purple in there. Um, so I would kind of randomly um, either, again, move across pathways as you suggested you might do for another design, or make this gradation more random as it moves from light to dark. And then, of course, you transition here. Also, yes, consider transitioning, in some of this area with equal values between the color families. For example, you've done it here with this value or this shade of orange and this shade of yellow. So I might continue in that fashion and see how that works. Like these two would really have good vanishing boundaries when they're next to each other. Um, Looks like you don't have any of the center of your points of emphasis in alignment, and that's good. Let's see, what else do we have? You have said you were worried about the zigzag. What you want to do is you either want to get rid of it, or you want to add um, a similar pathway in another area of your design, and I think it rather works well. It's nice how this gradates within, and then there's a nice seamless transition because look at the beautiful vanishing boundary here. And this is working pretty well too. So I think it adds visual interest, and if you could repeat that um, in other parts of the composition, I think it would be a nice strategy. So I look forward to your second iteration. You're well on your way. It's a good start with a little less than a week to go for due date. All right. Thanks, Ellie.